We aren't our illness, we are who we are. We're brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and such, so we're not just mentally ill. And, it covers such a realm. It's like heart problems. You could have a million things that you need to have done, and, you don't walk around saying, I'm a heart problem, so it needs to change the attitude of and the shame of it. Even though I think I'm really good about anti-stigma, I find that I stigmatize myself many times. I find when people say to me, what do you do? I can't tell them, I'm on Social Security because of my mental problem. I have to come up with an excuse like, well, I'm an artist, which works quite well for me. So that I wouldn't be able to sit here today if I hadn't done groups and artwork. I had for a long time just did medication and seen the therapist and caseworker and the psychologist, and then I realized, well, they started up more groups and they said, you should try. Well, I used to sit at the far end of the table away from everybody because I needed my space. But now I can sit next to somebody. And I still feel uneasy, but I can sit there. So the many groups that we go to, just like art, they're priceless as far as what they do for you. You find yourself being more whole. So for someone that was afraid to go, just grab yourself up by the back of the neck and drag your little butt in there, and you will see the change in you in no time. If I want other people to change their attitudes, I have to change my own also. So I fight that a lot. I catch myself not telling people, and the more I go along, I want to tell them because I have nothing to be ashamed of. Like I say, you wouldn't be ashamed of a heart problem. You wouldn't be ashamed of any other kind of problem. Why should you be ashamed of a mental problem? The doctor business, if you go to your regular doctor, you're lucky if you get one that doesn't stigmatize you and say they're mentally ill, so therefore we don't take their word for what's going on. And it's real difficult to find one that will treat you like a human still and put that aside and deal with the problem that you're there for them to deal with. So I think in the professional end, it's just as bad as it is out in the streets. Education is the most important thing we need to do to try and break through that barrier. It has to come within before you can expect it on the outside, because ignorance is right along with prejudice. If you're more informed, you're less likely to be ignorant. I think it's going to be very difficult, and it has to go on for a long time and over again because, like I say, many of us were raised a certain way, and we were raised that was a bad thing. Mental illness is a terrible thing, and then, like I say, you go to professionals and you get that same attitude from a regular doctor. And it is so difficult. It's bad enough you have the problem, but then you have to deal with that stigma on the side, which just compounds the whole thing.